I dated Oliver for 7 years, and then Molly came back. When the earthquake hit, a light fell, and he saved her in an instant. I got hit on the head, lost my memory, and when I woke up, I asked him, "Who are you?" He said he was my brother. I had a crush on his buddy and told him, "Since you're my brother, you gotta help me get Gavin." He thought I was just playing hard to get, so he agreed. That was until I was about to marry someone. He crashed the wedding like a madman. I asked, "Brother, are you here for my wedding?" He looked so sad and closed his eyes in pain. "Don't call me brother. I'm not your brother. Diana, you're mine. You can't marry someone else." Oliver flaked on his promise to go with me to the award ceremony. I was bummed, but then he called, asking me to join him at a bar for a party. I thought it was a celebration for me, considering I finally won Best Actress after all these years. When I got there, I realized it had nothing to do with me. It was a welcome back party for Molly. She was the first one to greet me and hugged me. "Diana, long time no see." I just nodded politely and looked at him sitting on the couch, asking, "So why did you stand me up?" He paused his smoking, tapped the ashes, and casually replied, "Molly hasn't been back in 7 years, just picked her up at the airport. The awards happen every year, don't they?" Turns out he missed my big night to pick Molly up from the airport. I felt a mix of resentment, bitterness, and disappointment spreading in my chest. Sure, the awards happen annually, but it took me 7 years to win this trophy. I wanted to share that joy with him the moment I won. But as I held the trophy and searched for him in the crowd, he was nowhere to be found. My disappointment was overwhelming. He just didn't care. Is it that in his heart, I'll never measure up to Molly? Even though it was me by his side for those 7 years. Molly raised her glass to toast me. "I want to apologize on Oliver's behalf. It's my fault he missed it. Consider this drink my apology." I saw the pride, arrogance, and the victory in her eyes. I didn't take the drink, just smirked. "He's my boyfriend. What right do you have to apologize for him?" Molly looked a bit awkward holding the glass. He immediately defended her. "Molly, don't mind her. Diana, enough's enough. Why the tantrum over something so small?" I turned to leave. Molly pouted. "Diana's upset. You should go after her." "I'll be fine, don't let this cause a rift between you two." One of his buddies spoke up, "Talk to her properly. Which time hasn't she compromised for you? This time, it's obviously your fault." Oliver put out his cigarette, dismissing it all. "Then just stay away from me forever. Don't know who keeps hanging around like a lost puppy, refusing to leave." I sped up my pace to get out. He wasn't wrong, I was often the one who compromised. He'd say a few nice things, and I'd soften. But this time, I didn't want to. Ever since that day, Oliver and I have been in a cold war. I busied my life with work. But news about him and Molly still managed to reach me somehow. The night of her welcome party, he spent a fortune getting an ad displayed on high-rise buildings all over the city that read, "Molly, welcome back." He got her a role with the famous director Meng Hai, a part one had a good chance of getting. I was practically at the contract signing stage when I got a call that they found someone better suited. So, the better suited person turned out to be Molly. She didn't even study acting, she studied piano, and for some reason, decided to become an actress now. I had clawed my way through the industry for 8 years to even get the chance to audition, and she just replaced me with a single word from him. I thought by now, I wouldn't lose a role like in my early years, but my boyfriend of 7 years blindsided me. The pain was suffocating. It hurt so much. He should know that acting is my second love after him, something I deeply care for. But he didn't care. Or maybe, because it was Molly, he allowed himself to hurt me without restraint. My manager saw the news and asked, "What's going on? Isn't Oliver your boyfriend? Why is he snatching your role for someone else? Are you two fighting?" I stared out the window at the endless loop of Molly, welcome back on the building, stinging my eyes with bitterness. Her return made him so happy that the world had to know. I took out my phone and messaged him, "We done, aren't we?" I felt so tired after all these years. Never thought I'd be the one to bring it up first. A love that couldn't grow warm after 7 years wasn't worth it. He didn't reply. I laughed at myself, maybe it's really over. My manager patted my back to comfort me. "You're too stubborn. When you were good with him, why didn't you ask for resources?" See how she walked in and bagged a movie with a renowned director. Never mind. If it's over, it's over. With your looks, you can find someone better. There's a party tonight, maybe someone suitable will be there. At the party, Oliver showed up with Molly, drawing everyone's attention to me, watching for drama. We had been public about our relationship. Usually, for parties like this, he'd bring me along. Molly stopped in front of me. "Diana, you look stunning tonight. Lots of eyes on you." Oliver looked around, chuckling, "Still not as stunning as you." I didn't want to watch them flaunt their love and walked away. People at the party were significant names, directors, producers, and more. I wanted to exchange contact info with some famous directors in hopes they'd consider me for future roles. When I saw director Chen, I had to try for a role in the movie I loved about rekindling broken relationships. Some parts still weren't cast. I approached and started talking, but Oliver butted in. "Don't bother. Molly doesn't like having familiar faces in the movie. You won't stand a chance. She doesn't really like acquaintances, and she's not into mingling. Isn't that obviously targeting me?" I grabbed my drink, took a swig. I tried hard to suppress the anger brewing inside and the urge to slap him. Not the right place. I turned to leave, but Oliver stopped me. "Wait, if you see Molly, be nice. She's upset because you ignored her." I held back the sting in my eyes, and said coldly, "Let go, I'm not obligated to care about her feelings." He insisted on holding my hand, looking displeased. Molly soon came over and, with a reproachful tone, said to him, "I just went to the restroom, and here you are, picking on Diana again." The ground suddenly started shaking violently. Someone shouted earthquake. Guests began to scatter. The ceiling light swayed precariously, and at the moment it fell. The hand clutching my wrist released me, and Oliver unhesitatingly rolled to one side with Molly. The chandelier fell on my head, blood dyed my vision red. When facing life and death, a person's first reaction is the most real. He didn't hesitate for a second between saving her and me, even if it was my hand he was holding. It hurt so much. The intense pain in my heart at that moment surpassed the pain in my head. The severe headache made me lose consciousness. When I woke up, I was in the hospital. I opened my eyes and saw a man in a white shirt, brown eyes, black hair, really handsome, like a fancy ragdoll cat, legs crossed, reading a book. Hearing my noise, he looked over, and when those peach blossom eyes met mine, my heart raced. I blurted out, "Hey, good looking, let's swap contact info." He laughed. Looked even better. Heartbeat faster. "Diana, don't mess around, we already have each other's contact info, don't we?" "Diana, is that my name?" I realized my mind was blank, I knew nothing except his good looks. He looked a bit panicked, quickly stood up, "Don't move, I'm getting the doctor." After he left, another man came in carrying water. Also good looking, different style, suit and all, a bit intense, slightly gloomy, looking at me made me feel uneasy. Just so many good-looking guys around me. His right hand was bandaged, placed the water down, looked at me, and said calmly, "You're awake?" I stared at Oliver confused. "Who are you?" He smirked, though all I could see was a hint of mockery in that smile. He said, "Oh, now you're pretending amnesia? Don't think that means you can come back to me. Are we close?" "I really don't remember, except that I'm Diana." He leaned down closer, checking me out. "If you want to act, I'll play along." He mumbled something I couldn't catch. "What?" He didn't seriously answer. "I'm your brother." The handsome guy came in with the doctor. He turned to leave. The handsome guy told my brother, "Oliver, take good care of Diana, stop hanging around other people's rooms, Molly's cut could heal on its own soon. He snapped, why don't you take care, since you love hanging out in her room anyway? My brother turned to leave, glancing at me. Quick, leave, so I can have more time with Mr. Handsome. Seeing my eager look, he frowned, turned, and left. Finally gone, looking at him somehow made me feel so heavy and stuck. Maybe it's like a weird family connection pressure. The doctor checked me, said except for the stitches on my head and some scrapes, I was fine. Just wait a bit to remove the stitches. No clots in the brain, and as for amnesia, no specific treatment medically. Just stay for another day for observation, then I can leave. They suggested taking me to where I used to live, maybe something will jog my memory. Hey, good looking, what's your name? You said you have my contact, I should look. Gavin. Old phone's busted, but the new phone does have Gavin's contact. Odd, Oliver's is pinned to the top. Bro-sis relationship must be really great, swapped it right away. Gavin stayed with me all afternoon. I just woke up, mind still fuzzy, wanted to ask him what he likes but fell asleep from being too tired. By the time I woke again, Gavin had left, and Oliver was there. I showed a face full of disappointment, should have stayed awake, needed to work on charming Mr. Dreamy. Oliver frowned at me, spoke in a deep tone, what's with the face, disappointed to see me? Brother, you and Gavin must be buddies. Otherwise why take such good care of me? He paused, what did you just call me? You said you're my brother, right? If you're my brother, you've got to help me win over Gavin. My life's happiness depends on you. He pulled out a cigarette, looked restless like he wanted to smoke, maybe realized it's a hospital room, instead, just rolled it under his nose to sniff. He spoke with a lowered voice, maybe because he couldn't smoke, his tone wasn't friendly. Stop fooling around, it could go too far, Gavin's not your type. He is, how is he not? Love at first sight. I like tall, handsome, warm smiles with dimples, he ticks all the boxes. He let out a strange low laugh, then stubbed out the cigarette, crumbling it and tossing the bits in the bin. Fine, I'll help you. Got discharged, Oliver had Gavin drive me home. He was off to the set with a girl named Molly. I walked over to Oliver. Molly looked apologetic. Diana, I'm sorry, Oliver has to come to the set with me, I'm nervous as it's my first shoot. I acted all chill, no worries, he's happy to do it. Clearly, Oliver wants to chase her, not my business. Turning to Oliver, sincerely and happily, thanks, you are really helping create opportunities for me and him. He had a complicated look, gritted, don't mention it. Just as I was about to get in the car, a horde of media swarmed us. I found out I used to be in the entertainment industry. Apparently, I was doing pretty well. But my agent said I've been off the schedule for a while now and suggested I take a break. Get back to it when I'm in a better space. Reporters almost shoved their mics in my face. Diana, when the earthquake happened, Oliver saved Molly first. How do you feel about that? Are Oliver and Molly dating? How long? Did you know? I don't get why the media cares so much. And Oliver, why is he staring at me like that, with all that darkness in his eyes? It gives me the creeps. Even if I'm his sister, I can't guilt him into saving me first. At most, it's just a bit unfair. Is he worried I'll talk trash to the media and embarrass him in front of his girl? Who he saves is his business. Whether they're dating or not, shouldn't they be the ones answering that? Why ask me? It's not like it's my business. After I said that, Oliver clenched his jaw, looking like he wanted to punch something, and mouthed to me, Diana, good job. If you're gonna praise me, just do it, don't look like you want to hit me. He slammed the car door and left with Molly. I was stuck, can't move an inch. I tried hard to squeeze into Gavin's car. Is Diana hitching a ride with Gavin? I'm picking her up from the hospital, Gavin said, staying close to keep me from getting pushed by the media. Blocking up the hospital could delay things for other patients. I'm sure you media folks aren't that rude. Just a couple of sentences and everyone stepped back. Gavin really knows how to handle people. Love it. Later that night, I was gaming with Gavin when Oliver came back. Gavin, I'm playing. Okay. I was grinning like a fool, chasing after him in the game. If someone attacked me, I'd call for help. Then Gavin chased them down. Gavin, you're so good at games. Can we play more? I want to reach King tier soon. Just say the word. A shadow blocked my view. I looked up. It's Oliver, and he looked cold as ice. He never smiles, it's such a downer. Stop playing. Have you eaten? I brushed him off, it's almost 7:30. Haven't you eaten? There's instant noodles in the cupboard, make some. I don't eat instant noodles. Then order takeout. He took my phone away, gripping my shoulder and shoving me onto the couch. In the past, you wouldn't let me have instant noodles. You said it lacked nutrition, wouldn't let me order takeout either, said it was unhealthy. You'd go out of your way to make my favorite dishes. I'm really being a total mom to him. In the game, my character was about to die, so I shoved Oliver away and grabbed my phone. Then starve. After the game ended, Gavin had to go. I noticed Oliver on the couch holding his stomach, looking at me angrily and kinda pitifully. Like a mistreated dog, all his bluster gone. Really, such a big guy acting all pitiful 'cause he didn't get food. Doesn't suit him at all. Not my problem, though. He's not gonna starve to death. When he's hungry enough, he'll realize that yeah, instant noodles might not be healthy but they fill you up. I got up to head upstairs for a bath and bed. Diana, my stomach hurts. He sounded so pathetic. Order delivery for stomach meds. I'm tired and have plans with Gavin for dinner tomorrow. I paused halfway and looked back. His eyes lit up. Thanks for telling me he likes games. Could you also tell me what food he likes? He twitched on the couch, lowering his eyes, his voice hoarse. I don't know. Okay, I'll ask him myself. Getting to know each other might help us bond. He seemed in pain, all curled up, his knuckles on the couch turning white. We chose a private dining place for dinner, good for privacy. Ran into Oliver and Molly there, too. Molly insisted on eating together for the fun of it. Oliver didn't protest. She pulled me into the private room, all concerned. Diana, will the scars show on your head? I heard where they stitched, hair doesn't grow back. I showed her equal concern. I've got so much hair, a bit not growing isn't a problem. But you should be careful, I noticed your part nearly a finger wide. Chill a bit to keep your hair. Gavin comforted me after that. There are lots of ways to remove scars now. Oliver stayed completely silent. The server handed over an iPad to order. I asked Gavin, what do you like to eat? Fish, no awful, spicy's good. I'm not picky with the rest. Let's get the signature squirrel fish and some chopped pepper fish head. You decide, I'll pay. No way, I'm treating you. Okay, I'll get the next one then. I added a few of my favorites, then passed the iPad to Molly. She ordered while chatting. You're really close with Gavin now, huh, Diana, she said, glancing at Oliver. Oliver didn't say a word. Yeah, I said. Hit it off right away. It's like that bird imprinting thing where the first person you see, you latch onto. Gavin seemed a bit miffed. Are you calling me your mom? Not at all, you're a guy. Better be. Oliver shoved his chair back, the sound grating. I'm going for a smoke. Gavin said he'd join him. Sitting with Molly felt awkward, nothing much to say. So I left for the restroom. Turning the corner, I saw Gavin leaning in the hallway smoking. First time seeing him smoke, he looked pretty cool doing it. He spoke, Oliver, you and Diana are broken up, right? Oliver didn't answer. Most of his cigarette turned to ash, only speaking when it burned his fingers. What's it to you? I want a clear answer. If it's over, I'd like to go after her myself. Oliver snuffed out his cigarette with his left hand, tossing it into the trash can nearby. He let out a low, cold chuckle, his demeanor indifferent, his tone casual. If you don't mind picking up my leftovers, then go ahead, Chase. Gavin swung a punch, hitting him in the stomach. Insulting a girl who poured her heart out to you for 7 years is pretty low. Oliver doubled over in pain for a moment before standing up, ready to swing back. Who the hell do you think you are to hit me? But Gavin calmly caught his hand. Don't make a scene, we still have to eat later. If the media hears about this, it'll get messy. Since you've admitted to breaking up with her, I'll make sure she moves out and won't contact you anymore. With that, he let go of Oliver's hand, finished his cigarette, and turned to head back into the room. I was in a daze from hearing 2 bombshells back to back as I walked into the bathroom. Oliver isn't my brother, he's my ex, and Gavin actually wants to pursue me. True, the best hunters sometimes look like prey. He's a master of the game. Oliver calling himself my brother likely means he's trying to keep me from clinging to the relationship and hurting his chances with Molly. No wonder I felt uneasy around him. No wonder the media was excitedly asking about them the other day. Turns out, I've been oblivious. No wonder Oliver's messages were always at the top of my chats. I thought I prioritized his news. The matching items in the villa weren't just a coincidence, they really were couple stuff. Now, all those doubts are cleared up. I washed my face to calm myself down and headed back to the table. Everyone was back in their seats like nothing happened, but Oliver hardly touched his food. When we finished eating, he bent over clutching his stomach, clearly in worsening pain. Molly panicked, trying to help him and calling his name. I said, call an ambulance. Molly did just that. I grabbed Gavin's arm to leave, but then felt a tug on my hand. Looking back, Oliver was on his knee, gripping. He looked pale, trembling from the pain. Aren't you coming to the hospital with me? Brother, no. Molly's with you, I'm no help there. We're going to see a movie, it's about to start. We can't be late. As he spaced out, I pulled away from him. I heard him mumble, you'd be the first to worry when I was sick before, now you won't even glance. But that was before. Now, I've forgotten him. No matter his pain, I felt nothing. Just a bystander. After the movie, as we were strolling, Gavin was about to take my hand when his phone rang. It was Oliver calling. Every time I didn't answer, he called again. I finally picked up and heard his weak voice. I have a stomach bleed. Annoyed, I asked, anything else? He was interrupting our date. There was a long silence on the other end. Aren't you coming to see me? No need. I'm not a doctor or medicine. If that's all, I'm hanging up. He took a breath, clearly angry, and shouted, Diana, don't you ever contact me again. I heard a crash from his end of the line. Molly was frantically yelling, Oliver, you kicked the 4-stand? The blood spilling, nurse. I hung up, and suddenly my head ached sharply as blurry memories flashed by. The feeling was like when I was sick, constantly calling someone. They just said, busy, don't bother me. I remember asking carefully, I'm sick, feeling dizzy, can you come see me? Only to be completely brushed off, see a doctor, don't bother me, I'm busy racing. I remember holding the phone, tears falling. Thinking of this, I felt wet on my face again. Why are you crying? Gavin asked, looking worried as he wiped my face. Just a headache, I said. I'll take you to the hospital. No need, give it a moment and I'll be fine. He offered to massage my head a bit. Once I felt better, he drove me back to the villa. He said, I know it's a bit opportunistic, given you've no recollection and trust me as first instincts, but I want our relationship to go further. I've wanted to pursue you for a long time, since forever, actually, can I try again? I told him how I didn't realize he tried before and that I refused him then. What poor judgment I had. Gavin said it was back during our freshman year. I used to feed the stray cats at school, but then there was someone harming them. I saved a calico cat, got hurt in the process, but was still comforting it when found. He saw me being put into the patrol car, muddy school uniform, torn sleeve, and scratches on my face from the perpetrator. My state didn't sound appealing. He said he was captivated by heroics. But it wasn't that. He wanted to protect me, felt my pain. Even battered, he was moved. Later, he couldn't help but watch me, seeing I was usually quiet and gentle. He couldn't imagine how someone like me took on a guy with a knife. But he had once pursued me. I was cold. During a group outing, when friends teased us, I told him to stop wasting time. I made it clear we had no chance. I had feelings for someone else. He once asked, if he had met me first, would he have had a shot? I just said, I don't do hypotheticals, there are no what-ifs. Now, it feels like fate has given him a redo. I'm hesitating, I'm definitely happy, and I like him. But is it just reliance after waking up? And my memory, is it a ticking time bomb? Would I hurt him again if it comes back? I spoke up about my concerns. He told me that giving him a romantic memory was enough. He dreamed about being in a relationship with me. Even if we broke up after I regained my memory, he wouldn't blame me. After saying that, he was super nervous, too tense to even look at me, just staring at the ground with his fists clenched. Seeing him like this, I felt compassion for him, so I agreed. When Gavin heard my answer, he smiled like a crescent moon and happily hugged me. The next day, I checked out my assets. As a top actress, I owned properties, including one near Oliver's villa. Seems like I was really into him before. So, I immediately got rid of everything couple-themed from the villa, packed up my clothes, called a moving company, and moved back to my own villa. While I was packing, Gavin called and said he needed to go back to Rome City. His grandma was sick. I realized that staying in North City was pointless, so I offered to accompany him back. Gavin's grandma was already hospitalized, diagnosed with mid-stage lung cancer. I was practically raised by my grandma, but I didn't visit much these past years due to being busy. His face looked filled with guilt. Getting her annual checkup was the only way to find out in time and cooperate with treatment. Grandma wouldn't want to see you like this. He perked up a bit and first took me to his home to settle down. His family's calico cat jumped out and leaped into my arms, licking my hand with its little tongue. I found it so friendly and cute. Gavin told me that this was the calico cat I had saved years ago. Somehow, it probably recognized me. He had adopted the cat and had it for 8 years. I stayed with Gavin for 2 months. But after all, Grandma was already 70, with her body not in the best shape, and cancer had spread, reaching its end stage. The doctor said she had less than 2 months left and that further treatment would just cause more pain. Gavin thought for a long time and decided to bring her home and take care of her himself. Her last wish was to see Gavin get married. I suggested to Gavin that we could have a small wedding to bring some joy to Grandma. He said he didn't want to force me into it. He worried that if we had a wedding, the media would blow it up, affecting my future choices. I teased him, "What, you never actually wanted to marry me?" Dating without the intent of marriage is stringing someone along. He quickly denied it and swore that he was genuine, and if I wanted to marry him, he'd be over the moon. It couldn't be that bad, right? I didn't mind. A fake wedding to fulfill her wish was no big deal. His face showed sadness. What if you regret it when you remember? These days, he had been gloomy because of his grandma's illness. I hugged him and looked up at his face. "No confidence in yourself, huh? You're so handsome, why would I regret it? Because you wouldn't know how much you loved Oliver before you lost your memory." Spending these 2 months together deepened our bond. Seeing him like this, it tugged at my heartstrings, and I quickly held his face, stood on my tiptoes, and kissed him. "I promise, even if I remember everything, I'll still love only you. Don't be sad, okay?" He finally seemed a bit happier and kissed me as well. "Even if you're lying to me now, I'm still happy. I'll start arranging everything for the wedding." The media had already reported that Gavin and I were frequently seen at the hospital. Then rumors of our wedding emerged, with wild speculations that the hospital visits were to the OB/GYN and that we were getting married because I was pregnant. We planned to keep the wedding simple, like a small church ceremony, inviting almost no one. It was all for Grandma's wish. Grandma was really weak, barely able to get out of bed, so we planned to video call her during the ceremony. But before the wedding could start, Oliver burst in. He always looked flawlessly put together, but his clothes were a mess, dark circles under his eyes, much thinner than 2 months ago, his face unnaturally pale. Seeing me in a wedding dress, his eyes welled up, and his face showed a desperateness I had never seen. In a trembling voice, he asked me, "Diana, what are you doing?" I replied, "Are you here for my wedding?" His whole body radiated sadness, and he painfully closed his eyes. "Don't call me brother, I'm not your brother. Diana, you're mine, you can't marry someone else." How ridiculous. I smirked, arrogantly like he used to. "You were the one saying you were my brother. Who are you putting on this act for now? Back then, I thought you were faking your memory loss, that's why I said that. Just so you could dump me for Molly, right?" He turned pale and couldn't return my words, silent for a long time. "Even if you have amnesia now, once you remember, we can be together again, really make it work. Even if you want to get married, I'll agree. You've got some nerve. At my wedding, saying you want to marry my bride? Do you think I'm dead?" Gavin couldn't hold it anymore, wrapping his arm around my waist, glaring jealously like a little wolf ready to attack. Oliver's eyes were bloodshot, his whole face contorted. "Shut the hell up. What kind of brother steals another's wife? Come on, don't make it sound so awful. That day, I made sure you broke up before I chased her. Don't lose something and act like a mad dog biting around." But still mindful of me, he didn't mention Oliver's comment about me being a no-good woman. Back then, I thought I could cope, but I realized I can't be without Diana. These 2 months, I've been like a walking corpse. "Diana, come with me, I'll take you to the places from our past. Once you remember how much you loved me, everything will be fine." He was desperate to help me regain my memory. To bring back the Diana who was head over heels for him, who would never leave him no matter how he treated her. But unfortunately, she really was gone. She died in that earthquake. She died in his repeated choices for Molly. She died every time he hurt me and left me to deal with it alone, never seeing how much it tore me apart inside. I calmly pushed his hand away and said, "I've regained my memory, but I don't want to go with you." For the past 2 months, flashes from the past kept popping into my mind. It all came back the moment he barged in. I finally remembered everything. I had a crush on Oliver since high school. My parents divorced and both remarried, leaving me mostly with my grandma, sending child support my way but rarely visiting. We used to live close to Oliver's house. Once, on my birthday, I bought a cake but had a run-in with some guys on my way back. They smashed my cake and tried to mess with me, but Oliver happened to pass by and stepped in. He threatened to call the police if they didn't back off. Before he left, he handed me the cake he was holding, saying, "Hate sweets, it's yours." His youthful, striking face, rebellious nature, his uniform in blue and white, the lamplight at midnight, all of it made my heart flutter. After that, I didn't see him again until we graduated high school, even though I walked that path countless times after learning Taekwondo. It wasn't until after college when I entered the entertainment industry and became an extra that we crossed paths again. I ran into him at a party my agent took me to. Clearly, he'd forgotten who I was, drowning his sorrows in alcohol. Someone said he and his first love broke up because she left him to tour nationwide. At the party, an older man kept hinting that if I agreed to be with him, he'd get me resources. I wasn't having it, so he tried to make me drink. Oliver intervened, pulling me to his side and joking, "You're not going to steal her from me, right?" That man immediately backed off. That night, Oliver was super drunk, and I ended up taking him home, but he vomited all over me. The next morning, when he woke up, seeing me there, he misunderstood, thinking we'd hooked up. His eyes showed disdain, assuming I was just trying to climb the ladder. He wrote a check, asking if it was enough. I told him nothing happened between us and stormed out of the villa. The next time we met, he apologized for the misunderstanding, and I forgave him. Over time, seeing each other often at events, he understood my feelings. He suggested I become his girlfriend, help him deal with affairs, attend parties with him. Under the condition that I'd be obedient, not ask questions or have expectations. For 7 years, I was his diligent girlfriend, hoping he'd eventually settle down. Even when his affection felt lacking, I was happy to wait until Molly came along. She made me see that love isn't given just by being patient and compromising. Loving someone for 7 years, losing myself, now looking back, it's a painful memory. I realized he didn't love me. So, it's best I don't love him anymore. Thankfully, I can stop caring about him now. It won't hurt anymore. Oliver loosened his collar, exhaled deeply, then with a dark look around the chapel said, "If she won't leave, then wreck this wedding, tear it all down." His people started ripping down decorations, smashing statues. The priest, hiding under a table, quivering, murmured, "Oh Lord," that I walked up and slapped him across the face. "Are you done being crazy? If you keep this up, we won't make it to video call Grandma in time. Good thing the old lady isn't here, or she'd be furious." Oliver's head turned from the slap, and when he looked back at me, his cheek bore the mark and tears in his eyes. "You hit me, for him, you hit me. Do you really love him that much? It's only been a while, but we have 7 years, Diana. If you want payback, fine, but not this way." That he doubled over in pain, grasping his stomach. "Why does my stomach hurt more than my heart? Did you put a curse on me? Why else would it hurt this bad?" I looked down at him coldly. "So what if you wreck this chapel? I can have another ceremony. I'm not one to waste my life on revenge." "You loved Molly, didn't you? You two only dated for a year, so it's not about time." "I had nothing with Molly," he said. "I thought I hadn't forgotten her. But lately, she's been around me constantly, and I've felt nothing. I just kept thinking about how she left me once. I've already replaced her in the crew. You won't have to see her again. These past 7 years, somewhere along the line, I just realized it's you I've loved. Don't marry him, I'll do whatever you want. Love me?" When the earthquake hit, you instinctually saved her first. Why? You say it's because I dumped you, and you can't handle it. If I look back, wouldn't I end up as abandoned as she was? Think about your attitude towards me these 7 years. If I hadn't been lost in my illusions, we'd have broken up long ago. Those feelings vanished, worn down by how you treated me. Please, just let me go, stop contacting me." He tried to talk, but Gavin rushed in with security. "Escort these troublemakers to the police." Gavin had called for reinforcements just moments earlier. His glare at Oliver was fierce, ready to kick him if Oliver hadn't been crouching on the verge of collapse. As for Oliver, keep him here if he wants to watch the wedding, but don't let him move or speak. The wedding was promptly relocated to another chapel. Once it officially began, we connected with Grandma via video. Surrounded by friends and under the priest's blessing, we completed the ceremony. Oliver, restrained, was forced to witness it all, his knuckles white from clenching his fists, his face drained of color. Overwhelmed, he fainted. At the hospital, doctors said his stress and emotional imbalance caused him to pass out. This might very well remain his lifelong regret, watching the woman who loved him for 7 years, finally understood him, and yet married someone else just when he realized his own heart. After I got my memory back, I stayed with Gavin for 2 more months to take care of Grandma. When she passed, I helped him with the funeral. During that time, Oliver kept trying to see me, but Gavin always stopped him. They came back to me for the lead role, and I took it. I really loved that character, it was always meant to be mine. As for Molly, I heard her husband from abroad came looking for her. They actually never finished their divorce. She wanted Oliver to help her, but he ignored her. In the end, her husband forced her to go back abroad with him. And about Oliver, he hung around for 2 years and just wouldn't give up. It wasn't until I announced on social platforms about my marriage certificate and that I was pregnant, that he finally gave up. The next time I heard about him, he was in the mid-stage of stomach cancer. His assistant reached out and asked if I could visit him at the hospital one last time. Seeing how conflicted I was, Gavin said, "I'll go with you." The guy's seriously ill. I'm not that petty. Even though his face was full of reluctance when he said it. At the hospital, Gavin waited outside the room. Oliver was lying there, lifeless and pale. When he saw me, he forced a weak smile. I thought you wouldn't come. I looked at him calmly. I've moved on. Doesn't hurt to see you. I just want to ask, what if I treated you well back then? Would we have gotten married? Would we have had kids? It doesn't matter. Things that happened, happened. His prideful nature wasn't going to change, not even with a do-over. I never make assumptions, only go with the flow. This is the last time we meet. Gavin didn't say it, but I don't want him to feel uneasy. So, no matter what, let's not keep in touch anymore. He took a few deep breaths, as if he was out of oxygen. Yeah, I'm going to M Country for treatment. Probably won't come back. I won't bother you again, just didn't say sorry face to face. Then, let's not meet again. I didn't look back as I left. I couldn't bring myself to say it's okay, the hurt was real, though he did bring me some happiness before. For the rest of my life, he'll have nothing to do with it. As soon as I walked out, Gavin came right up to me. Another 2 minutes and I would have gone in to find you. Can't fake generosity anymore? With you, I have to watch you every second. Since we're here, let's visit the maternity ward and check on the baby? Sure. It's great. For the rest of my life, I have a child and Gavin. I finally have a long-desired family of my own.